Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the channel. If you've never been here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Everybody else, welcome back. I appreciate you tuning in. He has been captured, the man in Minnesota that is responsible for killing two government employees and shooting two others. Vance Boelter has been arrested. He has been caught not far from his home. He is in custody, as you see in the picture. They have him locked up. This is a strange individual, and this case reminds me to tell you that we never know people. Okay, this wasn't the average criminal running around. This wasn't the average person who commits crimes. This isn't the average person with a criminal record, and we think that we know someone, and we just don't know them. In comparing, it reminds me of someone like a serial killer, like the guy Rex Huberman from the Gilgo Beach killing, a guy that held a normal job, lived a normal life, had a wife, had children, and you never thought he was going to do something like this. Let me show you the quick clip of him being the quick news report of him being apprehended. Please check this out.
As we come on the air tonight, WCCO has learned from multiple sources that the man accused of shooting two Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses in their homes, Vance Boelter, has been taken into custody in a field in Sibley County. The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office released this photo of the arrest moments ago. Tonight, we are covering all angles of this breaking news. The search for Boelter wound its way to a remote highway in Sibley County today. We will be live there in just a few minutes with our Jason Rantala. This all happened about 10 minutes from his home in Green Isle and across the metro from Champlin, where it all started. At 2 a.m. Saturday morning, Champlin police learned that State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot. They activated other departments, including Brooklyn Park Police. At 3:35 a.m., they found House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark shot in their home. They both died. Officers exchanged gunfire with a man they now believe to be Vance Boelter, but he got away. That search had gone nationwide before law enforcement found Boelter a short time ago near his home. Law enforcement had kept everyone in the loop as the public safety threat went on for 2 days. Our Jonah Kaplan was in the room with law enforcement and those local leaders today. Jonah, take us through that investigation.
Derek, it's kind of a remarkable sigh of relief for many people who've been affected by this and for many Minnesotans, because as early as just a few hours ago, the question was, how far did Vance Boelter actually travel? Because this was a man who was very well resourced, who was very well prepared, it seemed, according to investigators. And they had recovered two vehicles, not one. That was yesterday, but a second one today in this area in Sibley County. And the question was, could he have gone out of state? Could he have even gone out of the country? And who he was working with? Law enforcement officials were telling me they're not ruling anything out at the time, but for them to now complete this investigation, complete this manhunt, and now have soon charges filed against him. Again, huge achievement and sigh of relief from many here in Minnesota.
It'll be interesting to learn why he went back to that area near his farm home, if something changed with his mobility and his ability to get to another location, as of course that manhunt was tracking down on him. Now let's move to what's next. There are obviously going to be a lot of questions about the motive, if he was being assisted by others as the manhunt continued.
Well, what's the first thing that happens when you're arrested? You're read your Miranda rights, and you have the right to remain silent. Let's see what happens if he's going to make any statements in a preliminary hearing. Let's see what's going to be happening now with what other evidence is recovered on him. But in terms of what happens next, the key here is who is going to file charges first. Is it going to be the Hennepin County Attorney, Mary Moriarty, or is the U.S. Attorney's Office going to file federal charges? We've already heard from multiple people in the federal government, whether it's Attorney General Pam Bondi, whether it's President Trump himself, saying that this is going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Does that mean terrorism charges? Does that mean hate crime charges if we find out some other motives at play here? And let's not forget the Hennepin County Attorney's Office is currently under investigation by the Trump administration. So we may see the federal government saying, we're not letting you do this. We're taking control.
All right. Thank you very much, Jonah Kaplan, with the latest as we continue to follow this breaking news minute by minute.
So as you see, he killed the state representative, Melissa Hortman, and her husband, Mark. He's been charged with 2 counts of murder for killing both of them. I'm sure he'll be charged with 2 counts of attempted murder on State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. Um, this was a man. He had a list. He had a list of people that he was going to kill. A lot of people on those lists were tied to Planned Parenthood. He was very politically motivated. They had a list of politicians. He was strongly against abortion. And so it appears that he wanted to take people out that were involved in Planned Parenthood. The reason he was able to get some of the things he had is he worked for a security firm business. That security firm business did have access to police type vehicles. They also had access to weapons. He performed armed security of businesses and patrolled areas for this business. So he did have access to the police type vehicle, to the weapons. As they know, he wore a mask as well when he committed the crime. He put a latex mask on his face. So this was quite clear that it was planned, that it was the execution was pretty well planned. Um, he was an outspoken evangelical Christian. He was very well traveled, and it appears that he questioned the morals of America, the sexuality morals of America, and where America was going in this direction. He was very concerned with this. So he had a lot of political beliefs. He had a lot of church beliefs. He was, as I said, he was an evangelical Christian. He was involved in the church. He had ministered and preached many times. He had explained that he was a born again Christian who met Jesus when he was 17 years old. He was age 57 at this time. Uh, yeah, he was married. He had a wife who was the CEO of the company that he worked for. He was very well traveled. He traveled over to Europe. He traveled over to Africa. He traveled over to the Middle East, and he had a doctorate's degree in educational leadership. Um, as I said, you really never know people. That's what I want you individuals that are watching this to really take from from this situation. The body is a carrying case. Okay, I just explained this to one of the people in my comments the other day regarding something else. The body is a carrying case. When you look at someone, you are not seeing the person. Okay, when you look at someone, you are only seeing the body, and the body is the carrying case for who the person is on the inside, right? And if a person on the inside doesn't tell you how he feels, doesn't tell you how he thinks, doesn't tell you his desires, his loves, his hates, or her desires, her loves, her hates, then you will never know them. You will never know what the person thinks, because who they are is on the inside, and people are very guarded about their thoughts. It's the same thing when you look at a priest who molests children. He portrays himself with his body to be someone on the outside, but inside he has all different types of thoughts and desires. You never know people. Okay, you don't know your own mother or your own father. You've never seen your own mother or your own father. All you have seen is their body, and that's not who we are. I'm not gonna. I can get very deep into that. But so we won't go there. But he's been captured. He's been captured. He's in custody. Obviously, this gentleman did let people know a little bit of who he is by his preaching. And by he stated what he believed in. He stated what he was strongly against. But that you don't think someone's going to become radical. When they interviewed his roommate said when he came back from traveling from Africa that he quit all his jobs. He quit his work to go travel, and when he came back, he couldn't find work again. And he said he noticed that his roommate, he noticed that Vance was very bothered, but he thought that if Vance did anything, it may be self harm. That he never ever thought in a million years that he would strike out on anyone else. You know, there is video of interviews with his roommate who breaks down crying. But again, Vance has been captured. Vance Boelter has been captured. He is in custody, charged with 2 counts of murder, and I figured I'd keep you guys up to date on that. All right, you guys be well, and have a good week.